Seeing if we can save the big hair. That probably did nothing, but okay. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. I am no stranger to the terror that can come when I realize that I need to update my website. Okay, listen, I know I teach about this, but part of why I teach about it is because I too find it very challenging and sometimes overwhelming. So it's come to that time where I am beyond overdue to update my website. I have not touched it. I literally have not touched it in the last couple of years. So it's time. If I'm honest, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to update on my website. Like, it could do with a nice overhaul, but if I think of it that way, then often I end up procrastinating it because it just feels like too giant of a task. In this phase of my life especially, it just seems far more effective and doable to just take tiny chunks and tackle them one at a time. So if you have ever related to the I need to fix my website, but it's too big of a project, I'm overwhelmed, so I forget it, this episode's for you. I'm going to tackle one bit of my website today. Specifically today, there is a section of my website that has just been itching at me, like it needs to be updated. I have 4 specialties listed on my website, and one of them has just not fit and it needs to change, and I know exactly what I want to change it to, so it's time. I'm keeping this episode a little bit more conversational, so we're going to talk a little bit about why change specialties and how, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about the website strategy portion of changing specialties. So there's kind of 2 topics at hand, but I'll see if I can bring them together. I have a very kind of loose checklist that I follow when I'm feeling like maybe it's time to shift something about my specialties. So again, this is kind of a loose checklist. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to look exactly the same for everybody, but I find it helpful for me. And so I'm going to share it with you, and maybe there's some helpful bits in here for you. For me, the temptation is to always open my website, look at whatever it says now, and then try to tackle it from there. And whenever I do that, that's where I get stuck. I get overwhelmed, I get lost. And instead, I find it usually much more helpful to just set the website aside and just kind of come back to my own grounding, my own center, and think about what is it that matters to me in life? What is it that matters to me in this career? Why do I care about working with the people I care about working with? And if there's some sort of change, what is the motivator, the passion, the heart behind that move? So the first part of my loose little checklist when it comes to shifting something about my specialties is asking why. Not in a combative sort of way, but hey, let's really understand what's going on here. Why am I thinking about making a change? In the longer version of the episode, I'm going to share a little bit more about my personal why here, but in this short version, just suffice it to say that my prior specialty of focusing on supporting people through spiritual burnout just isn't a fit for me. And I'm hoping to transition into specializing a little bit more in helping folks recover from spiritual trauma or spiritual abuse. If you want to hear the why, then check out the extended cut of the episode. So after I have a clear sense of the why, why am I shifting my specialties, then I ask who. Who exactly am I serving? Now, I have a training called the Client Attraction System, where within it, I share an entire roadmap for how to build your ideal client avatar. So if this is something you're curious about, you can learn more in the training. I'll link to it below. But essentially, we're developing a fictional character who kind of represents the essence of who your ideal client is. And think who exactly is the potential client that I'd like to work with who is recovering from spiritual abuse, let's say, and fill out as much detail as I possibly can about that person. If I create marketing materials that speak directly to this kind of fictional ideal client character, then anyone coming to my website reading that material who connects with that experience will also begin to start building trust with me as well. So then once I have a sense of why I'm making this change and then who I'm wanting to serve as I change my specialty, then I get into a little bit of the technical stuff where I start thinking about what to name this specialty. This is leaning into SEO And now SEO, when I use that term, I'm not just referring to website searches, but it includes showing up in AI recommendations as well. If all of that sounds like a bunch of jargon to you, you don't know what SEO is, etc., I'll link to some other episodes I've made in the past that talk about that so you can learn more if you'd like. But basically, I want to name this specialty something where hopefully Google search results and AI can say, if somebody says, I need help with spiritual abuse or spiritual trauma, hopefully I have some of that information titled on my website so that I can show up in those recommendations. Right now, it's pretty straightforward. Like if you can find a small phrase that pretty specifically describes what you do, like therapy for spiritual trauma, it's specific without being wordy. So it gets the job done. And then the next step from there for me is to write out the services page. And the way I break it down is I focus on validating the pain points that somebody might be experiencing, this kind of fictional character that we talked about in the step 2 of the checklist. It's important to really name like specifics about how this spiritually traumatic experience is affecting this client so that we can validate, we can show that we see what they're going through, and then start to fill in the blanks about why this is something that's important to me to work with and how I help in these scenarios. And then I jump over to the homepage, and really on my homepage, the only place where my old specialty is listed is in the like little mini summaries that I have of each of my specialties. And otherwise, spiritual trauma fits quite neatly in my kind of umbrella specialty of working with folks who've been marginalized or misunderstood by the church. That's right within that broader specialty. So I don't need to make any massive changes to my homepage. I can just rewrite that little summary blurb for the one services page about spiritual trauma and then link to that services page. I like to think of this a little bit like, getting an oil change in your car. It's one of those like maintenance things where if you can just do a little bit of maintenance here and there, it's going to improve the overall health of your car. It's good to do your sort of like quarterly or every 6 months maintenance and just do a little bit here and there to say like, okay, I have spent 30 minutes on this, and I might not spend any more time on my website for another 3 months, and that's fine. But that's better that I spent that 30 minutes now, and maybe I do that 4 times a year, and that's it. But then I've spent 2 hours on my website that I might not have otherwise spent on it. And if you wait 5 years before doing anything, then math, that's 10 hours on your website that you accrued over that time, right? So little bits here and there goes a long way. And then after this, I would head over to my Google business profile and just make sure that my services match between my Google business profile and my website, because the algorithm looks for that stuff. Like if your website says you work with these 3 specialties and your Google business profile or your Psychology Today profile or your social media profile says you work with 3 other specialties, like the internet is like, those don't match. Not quite sure what to do with that. But if it's like here on social media and the website and Google business profile and Psychology Today, they all are saying that Marie does the same thing. That will help give you more SEO juice. I know that sounds so simple, but it's true. Like you're just clear and consistent in your communication. Later, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing this today. I'm telling you, I'm not doing this today. I can start creating blog posts that speak directly to this ideal client's pain points, or sometimes maybe like FAQs, and let individual blog posts address each of those. Those can link back to my Therapy for Spiritual Trauma services page. And I can also link to those blog posts from my Therapy for Spiritual Trauma services page. That also helps build a network, like a web of strengthening foundation in your website. Google and ChatGPT and AI follow those things and say like, oh yeah, you linked to a resource over here and you linked to another resource there to try to help guide people in helpful ways, and you're answering questions that people are asking. That's kind of it. Like, did that hopefully feel a little bit less overwhelming? There's been a couple times where I've made episodes like this where I'm like, I help make this a little less overwhelming, and there's someone in the comments who will be like, oh no, I'm more overwhelmed after. That's obviously not my desire. If somehow this did feel more overwhelming, find just the teeniest tidbit and apply that. Because again, just doing the tiniest change is way more helpful than doing nothing because it's too overwhelming to do the whole thing. Give it a go. Like, just see what baby step is accessible to you and not overwhelming, and have at it. Well, again, I'll say, like, this is my personal little like checklist for changing services, and I change my services, like, I feel like a fair amount. So, you don't have to lock in on the same specialties and services. You are a dynamic human being. Your clients are dynamic human beings, and your clients can kind of grow and shift with you. Like, I haven't had clients like drop off because they saw I changed something about my specialty, right? It's sort of like, oh, she's expanding, she's shifting, she's growing. And this is also just part of being successful as a business. Every business has to grow and change as times change. I am changing with the times, and that's partly why my specialties are changing too. And I'm making an assumption because I'm just making this change now, but at least sometimes, right, I'm also following the tides of where society is changing too. And we're growing together as humanity. Okay, was that cheesy? Was that corny? Yes, but I do believe it. So I'm sharing it with you. All right, I'm getting to the part where I wandered off script and I'm jibber jabbering. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you want to do a different roadmap that feels more manageable to you, by all means go for it. But to me, having like a little roadmap like this just helps me so I can make reasonable, manageable changes. Okay. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. TherapyNotes helps with all of your practice management needs, from scheduling to notes to billing. They have a HIPAA-secure telehealth platform included for free for all users and a suite of AI features to streamline your documentation process. If you'd like to check out TherapyNotes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. I hope you found this episode helpful to you, and if you would like some help with your website or your marketing, I got some trainings for that, so I'll link to those below. I can help you write the copy of your website, and I can help you create a sustainable marketing system that works for you, priced at very affordable prices, I like to think. So go ahead and check those out below if you're interested. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well.